Hello, my name is Antonio Manrique. This is the sheet metal phone stand, and I go to Joliet Central High School. In this project, I used a software called Inventor to model a phone stand. Then I used a software called AutoCAD to make drawing for a 2D surface. First off, I started by making the layout, and then I cut it into shapes. Finally, I bent it into place. To model a phone stand, I used a software called Inventor. I started off by making a 2D sketch, then I made sure it all had properties of sheet metal. Next, I used a tool in the software to bend it. Finally, I used the tool to fillet the edges, which just makes the corners like round. Next off, I also used Inventor to make a drawing of it. First, I made the front and right views at 1/2 a scale. Next, I made the isometric drawing, which is the 3D version. I then put in the sketch and I edited the part by filling in the title block. Next, I started on by using the actual piece of sheet metal. I started by putting my name, then I covered the side with no Sharpie and blue fluid. Then I used a scribe to mark all the dimensions with the help of a ruler. Next, I cut the sheet metal to size using hand shears. Then I used a hand file to make sure everything was at the marks. Finally, I used a deburring tool to make the edges less sharp so I wouldn't cut myself. Next, I used a tool called the bending brake to bend it into place. I did this by bending all of them at a 90-degree angle, except for the middle bend, which was at a 120-degree angle. Lastly, I think I could have improved on the bending and cutting, because it was kind of sloppy in my opinion, but overall, I think the project turned out fine. That's it, and shout out to Joliet Central High School, the metal shop, and Mr. West for teaching me how to use the equipment and having me do this project.